The city of Karnak is a modern-day traveler and tourist destination. And within this city of travelers and wanderers, Egypt's guardian, Pharos, forever to wander, the city and the dunes, keeping a watchful eye over its people and its history. But on this day, like no other, Pharos on this day finds himself in the presence of a familiar place. It was one of the many museums of Egypt that held many of its historical records. But as Pharos went to walk up the stairs to the museum, a voice was called to him. And this voice called his name. And when he turned around to see who it was, Pharos was transported to an unknown place. And a figure was standing before him. The place he was transported to was covered in sand and what seemed like a swirling storm of lightning. Pillars all that he could see in the place that he was summoned to, and this figure who called him said
that Pharos, guardian of Egypt, has been called. Pharos, I come to discuss a matter of great importance.
Pharos looks at the black figure and knows a distinct canine appearance to it, or a jackal. Pharos approaches the figure and said, "Emperor, you have called me. What is your orders?" The figures looked to him and said,
"A relic has fallen into human hands, and they must be.
Pharos then questions for the sudden emergency if it's just a relic. Empu then replied,
"A human has acquired the most powerful art, the Ankh of Horus."
Pharos, hearing the title of the artifact, then questioned its significance and how it came to be in the hands of normal humans. Empu then tells him
that this relic was lost for centuries. It was first lost after but has been rediscovered by two men. The Ankh itself holds properties unlike any other. For a human, this could spell great pain to this world and
Pharos then questions who are the individuals. Empu goes into detail describing the two men. He described them, one with red hair wearing a grayish-black shirt, and the other, a man wearing a blue shirt with no hair. He then tells him that they can be found in the back rooms of the museum, around the storage unit center of it. Pharos, hearing the description and understanding his orders, then nods to him in acknowledgement. He is then returned back to the human and begins his mission, walking up to the museum, making sure that Egypt's history is well protected. Pharos reaches the top of the steps. He looks to the museum and stares for what seems like an eternity. But as he looked, the words of Impu rang through his head. And with those thoughts, those words running through his skull, he continued forward with his mission. Pharos entered through the doors and looked around, seeing all of Egypt's history within the glass boxes for all to see. And with each item he looked at, he could name each one. That statue of Anubis, the statue of Horus, the swords of the Magi warriors, the Book of Horus, said to be this counterpart to the Book of the Dead, and so on. Pharos continued to walk through the museum, walking by people like before, no one noticing or acknowledging his existence. He has made his way through the crowd, and he sees one of the men that Impu described making his way to the back room in the museum. Pharos, seeing this, makes his way through the hordes of people to continue a watchful eye on this man. Pharos then makes his way to the very door the man went through. Peering over it through the window and listening, watching for him and his compatriots. Pharos, by the door, hears a conversation between the two men, and so it goes. The man in the gray shirt. Nikolai, how did the deal with the client go? Blue shirt. It went well. He will be here tomorrow morning, but see, this is no normal piece of gold. Gray shirt, what do you mean? It looks like any other old junk, like everything else. Blue shirt, no see. No, this is different. Last night I was here with this thing, and I was wanting a cheeseburger, but not like any normal cheeseburger. This one I was thinking of came from McKean's. McKean's burgers are the best. But as I was thinking of it, a flash of light came from my desk where the piece of gold was. And then there it was, a McKean's burger sitting on my desk, piping hot like it was just made. Pharos, standing by the door, hears this conversation and thinks one of them has discovered the item's powers. I must move now. The two then began to discuss this whole thing about the flashing light. But then, as they were discussing this, all sound in the room both disappeared. They looked to each other in confusion. Blue shirt, what is going on? It's midday, why is it so quiet? Gray shirt, I don't know. It's too quiet. Hey, what's that? They both looked to the door that led to the main hall of the museum and see sand pouring from it. Nikolai, the blue shirt man, went to the door in confusion to see what was going on. A sandstorm, maybe? But as he did this, the door flew open, and what seemed like a mini sandstorm entered the room. Nikolai, the man in the blue shirt, became enwrapped and engulfed in sand and began to mummify, turning what looked like centuries into seconds. Pharos, then emerging from the sand, grabbing the arm from this weathered corpse, then said, you wish to profit off of Egypt's people and its history for your own selfishness, and for this you will pay. And Pharaoh, saying this, the man then began to be consumed even more so by sand, turning millennia into seconds. And while this happened, the other man that was with him, the gray-shirt man, then began to run. He ran and he ran, trying to find another way out of that room that they were in. But as he tried to leave, Pharaoh, using the sand in the room, made a copy of himself, and this said copy went for the gray shirt man. The gray shirt man ran to the far side of the room, but as he did, he noticed a growing shadow behind him, keeping up with his speed. He turned around and looked and saw Pharaoh there standing behind him, brandishing an axe-like weapon, with him saying, "None shall escape Egypt's wrath."